register now.
Hello students, welcome to today's session. This is Sweta, your English Master Teacher at Vedantu, and today we will be dealing with the second session of From the Diary of Anne Frank. Right? So this session was cancelled due to some technical issues, but here I am again with this session. Right? So in the first session, if you have already covered, already visited the first session, I hope so. We have already analyzed the first part of the story. That is done. So today we will be dealing with the second part. Second part means which covers the school of Anne Frank, the teachers, so schooling teachers, and how it shaped uh, the character of Anne Frank and what happened in school, etc., etc. Right? So that is going to be very exciting because I'm sure everybody is missing school nowadays, right? So let's see what happened in Anne Frank's school so that you can also revisit your school once again in your imagination and cherish those memories that you had with your teachers and your definitely your school, your class friends, classmates, everyone, right? And of course, we will be dealing with some important question and answers from this chapter, which we have not done in the previous channel. I have only taken those question and answers. So please do not think that we have already completed this chapter in the other channel, so we do not need to do it here. It's not like that, as I always keep telling you that this is completely new. Okay, there is no repetition. Okay, so guys, thank you for your homework. Very, very well answered by Amrita and all the rest of you as well. Amazingly, put, and definitely, I'm really glad to see your efforts, right, that you give into the homework question. Very good, very good. Thank you, Amrita, and thank you, Sunita, as well. You can definitely read through the chapter, read through their answers. They have done wonderful, and all the other students as well, wonderfully, wonderfully, wonderfully portrayed. Right, so very well answered. Thank you so much. And now I will start with the quote by Anne Frank. So now let us have a look at this beautiful quote and let's see how mature she was even at the age of 13. Remember, she was just a teenager like you. Okay, so let's see how maturely she handles the circumstances. You know that she was a very in a very difficult circumstance, even more difficult than the pandemic maybe, right? So or you can relate to the pandemic situation. She was also spending her time in lockdown. We also were spending few days ago. Now it is unlocked, I know, but still, right? So what she says is parents can only give good advice or put them on the right paths, but the final forming of a person's character lies in their own hands. How beautiful and how deep is this thought and how mature. So that is why, that is the reason why her diary is, widespread, so popular, right? Because she has written with such maturity, such insight, that we are really awestruck to find a girl of 13 years writing such beautiful quotation, writing such beautiful thoughts that we can use in quotation, right? So do tell me, guys, in the chat box, what is your thought in the on the quote, right? Do let me know. Do you like the quote? Do you agree with the quote? What do you think? Your thoughts, your inputs. You all are teenagers, right? So definitely you could relate to this. है ना? So please do let me know in the chat box. Now moving to where we left, moving towards the story. So we will start with her schooling now. So she was sent to her first school was Montessori school. Okay. Try to recollect the memories of your first school. My memories of my kindergarten school was is not that great. I think you have already seen that in the close up. I had almost, given up going to school when I was in my kindergarten school, right? But it was completely not the same. I mean, just the opposite for Anne. So you also let me know about your experiences in your Montessori school. Okay, I would really love to know. let's see if you were also like me or were you like Anne. Okay, so she had Mrs. Cupras, the headmistress, as a teacher in sixth form, who even cried at the time of a farewell. So she was so attached to her Montessori school headmistress. What was the name of her headmistress? Mrs. Cupras, right? That at the time of farewell, both of them had tears in their eyes. And then the author talks about, Anne talks about her grandmother and her close attachment with her grandmother, right? So she says that in 1941, because her grandmother passed away, that is why she did not even celebrate her birthday, right? Sorry, she did not pass away at that point of time. She fell ill and underwent an operation, and that is why she could not celebrate, because she did not feel like celebrating her birthday grandly, because she was very attached to her grandmother and she was worried about her grandmother's health, right? And then finally, her grandmother passed away in 1942, 1 year later. And Anne used to miss her grandmother very much. And then she says that this year's birthday was to be celebrated with great zeal so as to compensate for the last year's. But then she mentions that her family is doing well, which definitely sums up her background and brings her to the present day. So, this is the present day, 20th June 1942, when she is writing her diary. So when is she writing her diary? 20th June 1942. And then talking about her schooling, and of course the diary was given as a present by her father on her 13th birthday. I think I have already mentioned this in the previous video. So mentioning about her schooling, she says that about a quarter of class should never be allowed to pass because they hardly respond or take part in any activities. Now try to imagine your classroom. How many of you take active part when your class teacher is asking something? How many of your, any teacher, any subject teacher, class teacher asks you some question, how many of you are there who take active part and who respond sincerely to the question asked by your class teacher? Well, when I was in my school, I used to hide behind my friends so that the teacher does not see me. I did not want to answer. It was not that I did not know the answer or something. I could not muster up the courage to speak in front of the class. So how many of you, I had that kind of, timid personality. I was not that bold. And I am now very changed. You can see right now. But at that point of time, I was very shy. Still now I have those inhibitions in me. But yes, I have kind of evolved. So do let me know your personality type in the chat box. But Anne felt that they'd hardly respond, so they are dumb. Okay. So, but this, of course, she says that this may not be the case because the teacher's decisions cannot be predicted. So she says that maybe they will pass because we do not know what the teachers see in them, and they let them pass, right? So that is what. But otherwise, what Anne felt was most of them were not able to answer, so they were dumb. Okay. So before proceeding with this wonderful discussion, guys, I would like to bring into your mind about the Vedantu subscription, guys. And especially, this is the time of your board exam. All of you all of you are right now in the process of doing your best. So there are certain hindrances which you might feel, which most of you have felt. The first one is doubts. You have many doubts which are not catered to. Notes, the unavailability of notes it's also serving as a hindrance. Tests and assignments, you are lacking behind in tests and assignments because of so many doubts and unavailability of notes. Competitive exams, choice of schedule, choice of language being the other major issues that you face. But here in our platform, we have tried to solve each and every problem of yours. So doubts, you are no more going to have any doubt because we have an entire team of class teachers and master teachers who are going to cater to the problem of the doubts that you face. So your doubts will be solved live in class instantaneously. So no need to worry, guys. Notes, definitely you're going to have notes to each and every session, assignment after each and every session, competitive exams. We do take care of various competitive exams and Olympiads, and all this in your choice of schedule, in your choice of language. So what else? And this does not stop here, guys, because we have bonus features like micro course and crash course. So micro courses, what are those micro courses? You can avail the micro course pertaining to any chapter that you feel like, right? So these are basically chapter wise courses. These are, supposed to fill up all the gaps that you still can have in the process of education. Crash course is going to make you exam ready by making your revision absolutely 100%. Performance report, definitely we are going to take tests and we give you the performance report of those tests so that you can analyze yourselves, right? Because self analysis is the best analysis. You can definitely analyze your shortcomings and work on them, because we in our platform believe not only in hard work but also in smart work. So that performance report is going to enable you for, to work smart. And apart from that, personalized attention, yes, which is not always possible in YouTube, is there in the platform. And we have special discount for all of you guys. So 50% complete discount, Diwali discount is just for you guys. Do not miss this from 7th to 11th November 2020. Just apply the coupon code, choose your grade, choose your board, check out the details, click on get subscription. We have three types of subscription and you can just have a look at the new price after 50% discount, right? So do not forget to apply the coupon code SWREPRO in order to avail the 50% off, guys. So this coupon code is going to give you flat 50% off. All right, guys. So coming back to our amazing and very interesting discussion of Anne Frank and her school life, right? So Anne says that she's not bothered about herself and her friends. Why? Because she thinks that she will pass. Both her friends and she both will, all of them will pass. The only subject, she is quite related to me, I guess, in this. The only subject that she is unsure about is mathematics, right? Because she seems to have a tough time with the subject, but all they could do was wait for the results and not lose their hope. But still she thought that she is, although she is not very good at mathematics, but definitely she is going to make it up to the next class, right? So in this she is quite related to me. I hope if you are not related to Anne, at least in this, okay? Because I want you to pay full attention to each and every subject and love each and every subject, because you people have the opportunity of, having wonderful teachers with wonderful guidance in each and every subject, right? So please do fall in love with all your subjects and not hate any subject, okay? So she tells how she has a great relationship with all her teachers, but exception is her maths professor, Mr. Keesing. Okay, because Mr. Keesing was very, irritated by her talkativeness, right? So, how many of you are, talkative by nature and you kind of irritate your class teacher? I guess most of you would be falling into that category. Anyways, so despite several warnings, and did not stop talking in his classes. Right? So this actually happened with me as well. Although I was not very outspoken, but yes, I had my friend circle and I used to, be very talkative with them, right? So I'm sure everybody has that friend circle, that group, which is very talkative, right? So which prompted him to give her extra homework. So that was the punishment given to Anne. So guys, do tell me your punishment when you used to talk in your class. Like I would tell mine. I was called from the back bench because I usually preferred the last benches so that I am hidden away from my teacher. So I always was picked up from my group of friends. It was me always who was picked up and, made to sit in the very first bench, just right, right under the nose of the teacher, which I of course did not like. So you also tell me your punishment which you faced because of your talkative nature, right? So Anne was given extra homework, and what was the first homework that Mr. Keesing gave? He told her to write an essay on chatterbox, which she thought was a strange topic because, of course, chatterbox, what can I write about that? So quickly let me know in the chat box, why did the maths teacher punish Anne? Very simple. All right. So moving ahead, now she had to complete this homework, right? So now Anne was very mature. She did not just, feel like completing the homework just for the sake of completion. Most of you, I think anybody who does, I have seen most students do this. What they do is when they do not know what to write, they write big letters, they write big words. I mean, they use big letters and they leave a lot of space so that their page seems to be filled up, right? So she did not want this to happen. She did not want to write only for the sake of filling up pages. She wanted to argue. She was very good in argument. Okay. So that is, see, this is the quality of a teacher, Mr. Keesing. He could have given her any other punishment, but he wanted to, you know, take out that talent in her, what she was good in. Okay. So that is why he gave this homework, so that at the same time she is becoming, creative and argumentative, and at the same, and she also can, you know, not disturb the class, right? So she would be engrossed in this topic, right? So now she mentioned that. Now what is she? What did she write in the? What was the content of the first topic? That is very important. So she says that talking is something that can never be eliminated, because that is a part and parcel of a student life. I think you all agree with this. Yes, I do agree. Okay, and then she also said that she is, she has inherited this trait from her mother. Okay, so these are the 2 points or 2 arguments that she gave, and please do remember these 2 arguments because this can come in your exam as well. So this is how she ended up writing 3 pages. Now, before proceeding further, guys, I would like to make a small announcement, but a very important one, about the NTSC Super Sprint in YouTube, where we are going to give you all the information, news, tips, and strategies from 4th November to 3rd December, Monday to Saturday. Timing is 1:30 p.m. Right? So this is the link, and these are all the information that you want. Okay, so do not miss this out, guys. This is just for you. All right, moving ahead with our very interesting subject is that the professor found Anne's argument to be amusing. But when she did not stop talking in the next lesson, he gave yet another punishment. So first essay was outstanding. He find out he actually thought that that was very amusing. Okay, but the next assignment was an incorrigible chatterbox. Now this is assignment number 2. Please remember the first, second, and third day. He gave 3 assignments in total, right? So the first was chatterbox. The second is incorrigible chatterbox because she still couldn't give up talking, right? Now what did she write in the second one? Now on receiving this assignment, the professor did not say anything for a while, but when he lost his patience, he handed over yet another assignment. So he did not stop here. He again gave her the third assignment. Quack, 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 said Mrs. Chatterbox. This is the third assignment that he gave her. Right. So then she, in the final assignment, she took the help of a friend, right? And she wrote a verse, that is a poem, right? She wrote a satire that a father swan bit his 3 baby ducklings to death because they, quacked too much, right? So that was her content. That was the subject that she wrote on. Now, of course, you can understand this father duck was, it is an indication to Mr. Keesing, right? But the professor, he was a very, light-hearted person, a jovial person. So he took that lightly. He took the joke in the right manner. And he also at the same time stopped giving her punishment and stopped, he burst out laughing first of all, and he stopped giving her any more assignments after that and stopped disturbing her completely. So that was how Anne actually won in the argument, and that was very creative of her. And with that happened with the support of Mr. Keesing, right? If Mr. Keesing would not have given those assignments, she also could not have come up with those amazing ideas, those critical, those creative ideas, right? So definitely we can see how Mr. Keesing helped her in shaping up her creativity, right, and bringing it in front of the class, right? So that is the role of a teacher in the student's life. Now we will move to the character sketch of Anne Frank. So her diary, her entries gives us an insight about her character and her personality. And finds a good and confident friend in the form of her diary. So therefore she says that paper has more patience than people. She could share all her feelings in her diary, right? She doesn't, she's confident that her personality and good traits, make up for her not being pretty, okay, and is definitely playful and comical, but she has a great maturity and her diary justifies her maturity. Her beautiful writing justifies her maturity. She is content and optimistic despite the threats and dangers that her family faces. You all know what is the backdrop against which this diary is, based. She is remarkably forthright and perceptive at the beginning of the diary, but as she leaves a normal childhood behind and enters the dire and unusual circumstances of the Holocaust, she becomes more introspective and thoughtful. So you can see this when you read the diary. That for that you need to read the diary very carefully. You can see this with the style of her writing, right? At the beginning she is normal, she's normal, a normal child, but gradually when she faces those hardships, that makes her shine, okay. Stars shine in darkness, right? So she becomes more introspective and more thoughtful. And she feels extremely lonely and in need of kindness and affection. And that place was taken by her diary. So she's a teenager, as I told you, and all the features of a teenage girl is noticed in her from the very beginning. If you ever get an opportunity of reading the entire diary, it would be wonderful, guys. Please read through the entire diary that she had written. This is just an excerpt. Now, coming to the important question and answers, why did Anne think that she could confide more in her diary than in the people? This we have already discussed, in a different language maybe, but yes, we have discussed. So, do let me know in the chat box what do you think of this answer. Okay. So Anne did not have a friend with whom she could share, she could trust sharing all everything and anything and everything, right? So when she got her diary, she made it her best friend because she believed that nobody would be interested enough in her musings, in her thoughts, right? So therefore, the diary would be helpful in keeping her secret and also would not react like the other people, right? So she confided everything in her diary about her fear, about her loneliness, about her friends, about her family, everything, right? Next is who helped Anne in writing the essay and how. Today only we discussed it was Mr. Keesing, right? So talk about all the assignments. First was the chatter box. Okay, please do not forget the chatter box. First assignment, then quack quack quack, Mr. Chatterbox. So all write the name of all the three assignments, right? And then uh, her friend helped her. Okay, so here I told you that she took the help of a friend, right? Because she was good in poetry, so she suggested her to write the entire essay. Oh, is it about the third one? Oh, so anyways, she tried to play a joke on Mr. Keesing with the essay. She was writing a satire, right? But of course, he took it in the right way, and he understood that she was not a dull student, so but talkative. So he allowed her to talk and not punish her again. Moving ahead, from the diary of Anne Frank throws light on teacher-student relationship, class atmosphere, and discipline. That is the entire portion that we covered in today's session, right? So, what do you think about this? How far do you agree with this? Do let me know in the chat box. Okay, so definitely it clearly describes that, and Anne, who talks a lot in the class, gets punished. Okay, and I told you that you could also go back to your, school times, right? I know it has now become a memory, kind of memory, right? And you all are eagerly waiting for, the memory to become the reality very soon, right? So he asked her to write essays as punishment. Okay, which is learning in disguise, as I told you, because she wanted her to focus on studies and not waste her energy in talking. Okay? So he cannot be blamed for the punishment as it did not, he did it, sorry, for the development of Anne. As I told you, brought about the creativity from inside, right? So the teacher-student relationship is very respectful and sacred. And sadly, most of us are forgetting this. So this is very much relevant in our context, in the present day context, where students and teachers, they are not very respectable towards each other. So we need to nourish those relationships even more. So we can take the example, we can have a look at the example of Anne Frank's teacher, Mr. Keesing, right? So we need to rebuild a stronger relationship between the teacher and the student, right? What do you think about it, guys? Do you agree with this? It is about discipline and classroom manners, which are essential for every student as well as teacher. Otherwise, both would be hampered. Of course, a little bit talking, a little bit joking is, of course, essential in classrooms, but the maintenance of the decorum of the class is very important for both the teacher and the student. Otherwise, it would not lead to any progress, right? This relationship is really shown in Mr. Keesing and Anne Frank's action, as both try to joke on each other, but in a very humorous and healthy manner. That is very, very important. Of course, we can joke. We have to share a very light and healthy relationship, but that should be very healthy. That can be humorous, but that should not cross the line. That is very, very important. So this healthy relationship is needed everywhere for effective teaching and learning. And what do you think about this? And how far would you place this in today's context? Do let me know in the chat box, please. This is a very important and related to our lives, right? Related to our lives, because we always go through this situation of teaching and learning. You go through this situation, I go through this situation, right? So this is for both of us, teacher and students. So do let me know in the chat box, what do you feel about this? How are you going to place this in the context of modern learning? And this is your homework, guys. Do let me know the homework answer as well in the chat box. Paper has more patience than people. Do you agree with the statement? This is a very important question, guys. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the session today, because this session was really, I enjoyed teaching you all. So I hope you also enjoyed learning, right? So please do let me know in the chat box, and don't forget to hit the like button, and do not forget to visit the link in the description box. Okay, choose your grade, choose your board, check out the details, click on get subscription. We have 3 types of subscription, guys. You can click on any one, okay, whatever you like, but do not forget to apply the coupon code, which is because this is going to give you 50% discount. Give us the opportunity to provide you with the best and to remove all the hurdles from the path of education. And do not forget that this is applicable only for these few days, 7 to 11th November. So hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and don't let go of this brilliant opportunity, guys. Thanks for watching. Do hit the like button if you enjoyed reading the lesson along with me, and do post your comments. Share this video with your friends so that they can also enjoy. Take care. Bye bye. See you all in the next session.